Hey Hooper, it's Deanne Love here. Welcome to day 6 of your 30 days in flow. We are going to be moving through can, foot flick, step through, and propeller. That may mean nothing to you. I'm going to break it down. And of course, you may have variations of all of these tricks. So you might be able to do this flow session a whole bunch of different ways. You're going to bring in your variations and add your flair, style, uniqueness, amazingness. But let's break down first of all and flow it through. This might be a cool warm-up for you. So a can is any time we pass the hoop under our leg. There's multiple ways, holding on, letting go, but for this one I am going to start in my right hand, spinning out to the right. You might like to spin on your left hand out to the left and pass on the outside of my right leg, and I'm going to take it underneath my knee on this vertical plane. You could also do this on a horizontal plane. So I'm going to pass knuckles down to my second hand. So that was right hand spin to the right under the outside of my right leg and pass it to my left leg there. You can do it in a whole bunch of ways. You could do a little toss if you have space. You could do it in the opposite way, but for now I'm passing under one leg. That is a can. You can do behind, the back, in front, all over. Now I want to do a foot flick, and a foot flick is like passing, but we let go for a moment. So I went from taking the hoop in my left hand, now I want to give it to my right hand for a whole bunch of reasons. So for this foot flick, what's going to happen is we're going to pass as if we were passing around the body. But the next time you're going to give it to your hand, instead, you're going to give it to a foot. So if you're passing to the left, let's just break this down for a little bit, or you might be practicing. If you're passing to the left, then it's going to go from your right hand to your left foot to your right hand. But if you're passing around to the right, it's going to go from your left hand to your right foot. So give yourself a little bit of space to work that out. So for this particular variation, I'm going to pass onto my left leg with my right hand. So putting those together, I'm going to spin on my right hand under the outside of my right leg. Then in front of me, I want to pass over to my right hand again. So I went from my left hand to my right hand, left leg, and catch. Okay, so here are a few things. It's really hard to do slow-mo, and you might do this as you're turning in a circle, but this is essentially a balancing move, which means that you're going to choose the leg that you feel most comfortable balancing on in this moment. Of course, we're always playing and practicing to balance on both sides, but what you really want to do, and this feels so good when you don't have shoes on, but you want to really plant your foot. You can soften through the trunk side knee if you like. That will give you a little bit more stability. But if you need to zip up through your hip and your belly, all of this is happening all at once, just so that you can pass the hoop around with your foot. It looks really cool and it's great. You don't have to be able to take your legs super high. So you can try this even if you're kind of keeping your leg down low. So there's always modifications for everything. But what you do want to do is be able to bring the foot that is flicking around to the hand that is passing off. So essentially opposite leg, opposite hand. So you're going to be able to bring it around so that you can grab. And that's kind of the trickiest part. And what often happens is we lose our balance because we're doing all the, it's like crazy bodily intelligence. We're doing all these different things at once. So if you can balance, keep the pinky toe of the passing foot up towards the heavens as much as you can, and then grab. You're going to reach around and grab. And then sometimes you might want to pivot so that you can connect all of those dots. Now, after we do that foot flick and we grab, we're going to do a step through. So what we want to do is then go from the horizontal to the vertical. And if it's in your right hand, you'll step with your left leg. And again, if it's in your left hand, you'll step with your right leg. So a lot of cross promo here, cross pollination. So the step through that and you might know a whole bunch of other step throughs, but this particular step through is where we hinge the hoop around in like this kind of donut shape, and we step through. So right wrist towards left leg, hinge, step with left leg, head, step down, then pick up the second leg. So it's like you whip the hoop around, you keep your hand at about chest, solar plexus height. And of course you can do this turning 360, but for most of these I'm standing as still as I can to make a good tutorial. Now from here, after you do that step through, what you want to do is a propeller move. You can do a propeller on the vertical or on the horizontal, but for this one, I'm going to do it on a vertical plane here. So as I've stepped through, I want to then bring my hoop into this front frame. And if it's in your right hand, you're probably going to want to propel out to the right. So that means you rotate until your wrist is up. Pinkies go together, rotate until your wrist is down. Pointer fingers go together. This can be deceptive. It can seem like, oh, it's such a simple move. Right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand. It may be easy breezy for you, or you might need to slow it down. So essentially, twist halfway down, twist halfway up, twist halfway down. Now the cool thing about this is then you can repeat can, foot flick, step through, propeller. Can, foot flick, step through, propeller. It is now time to move and dance that through. And today's technique, if you go over to learn.hooplovers.tv, 30 days in flow, all the links are always down below here. You will see that today's technique, today's theme, today's layer is release. Now, often when we're doing these balancing moves, we bring in a lot of tension. But when we play, can we today ask ourselves, what is it that we are needing to release in our body, through our breath, perhaps in our thoughts, our emotions, our whole entire life? As we play with these moves, finding new variations, if new tricks come in, or if your body already has imprints and pathways, let it all be. Let's play. Taking as much time as you need to play with those moves and allowing new pathways to filter in, diving into the energy and essence of release. Big hoop love from me to you. I'll see you tomorrow.